Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Israel. Shalom. Hi, everyone. Hello, good to see you. Hope you don't mind this dim light. Let me know if the video is still fine, if it's all okay. Great. Thank you, Claire. Thank you. Hi, Joanna. Kari, again. Nice to see you. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to my cave/library. That's my pet. Her name is Jessie, if you don't mind. You're a repeat offender. I like this kind of misdemeanor. That's a good one. Hello, everyone. We have about 3 minutes before we begin. And I am more than excited. You know that I have a very special guest visiting from Amsterdam. But the problem is he's supposed to be here. But, it's a little bit of reminiscent of a last year Halloween tour. Not mine, however, but Stefan van der Meer, my amazing colleague, an amazing Amsterdam guy, well, beyond Amsterdam. Just enough time to grab a peanut butter and jelly for lunch. That's great. Well, bon appetit, Karen. Hello. And last time, I think Oskar got he was trapped, I remember, in a cobweb somewhere. So, and I'm a bit worried about him. What if he finds himself into trouble again? What if he gets into trouble? I'm a bit scared. Anyway, so the problem is we need to find Oskar, and he should be here. We agreed to meet at the library. We'll see. Hello, everyone. We haven't started yet. Don't worry. We haven't started yet. We have about a couple minutes before we begin. Please let me know. I know that some of you have seen my tour in HeyGo National Park, where I shared I shared many scary stories, and almost all of them did happen. So almost all these stories are known for a fact, which, as I think, makes it even scarier. And I think that it's not only for Halloween we should remember those stories, but humankind never learns. That's what I've learned this year, and the world has learned it. But it was a fantastic tour. Thank you, Kari. Thank you so much. So Kari is our fresh blood. I'm so happy that you've joined. Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you. Thank you so much, Barbara, for the tipping. I haven't even started yet. Well, Kari, what can I say? So I haven't been to this library for a while, as you see. I'm not a big reader. Well, actually, I am, but I prefer electronic devices. But this, well, that's not really useless. Especially if you know that that's an Amazon backdrop, right? But it doesn't look like, so I actually like this web. I think I should keep it for a while, right? Well, we are starting very soon. As you know, this is going to be a pre-recorded tour because the location is quite unusual. I will explain everything when we begin. Hi, Richard. Good to see you. I'm so excited about it. So excited about the tour. It's great to have so many seasoned voyagers, my good old friends, and some new ones. This is exciting. Hello, everyone. Well, just in case you're wondering if there's going to be any more kind of fun for Halloween, well, yes, there's one more tour. It's gonna happen tomorrow. the Halloween crafts market tour. Many of those of my seasoned voyagers know how much I love crafts markets, and we've had so much fun back in the days. And I'm more than happy to invite you for another crafts market, Halloween themed, and it is very much like the crafts market we visited before. It is, absolutely. So I'm beyond excited to take you there. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello. So welcome to Israel. Welcome to Ashkelon, the city on the shore of the Mediterranean. And you are at my place, at my library. This is going to be a Halloween tour. See, I prepared. And this is going to be a pre-recorded tour. Let me first of all go over the drill with you to let you know how the tour is going to look like. And then we will begin. And I'm also waiting for my good old furry friend, Oskar, but he's not here, so maybe he joins us later, I don't know. So, why the tour is pre-recorded? Because this place, Bet Shearim, I will show you the map. It is located 2 hours drive one way from where we live, from Ashkelon. So my husband, I don't know what happened, but he was so willing to help. Well, he also likes places like that. Hi, Queen. Hi, good to see you. Shalom. I'm doing okay. A twin sister Rachel and I half Israeli. Oh, amazing. So we have many people that are connected to Israel, that are Jewish by blood or just in love with Israel. Well, this is great. So the place is 2 hours drive one way, and it's not in the rush hour. Way back, it was 2.5 hours. We're going to see the caves, which means that inside the cave, so this is a cemetery, huge in the caves, in the limestone caves. So no connectivity there. I even checked, no connectivity. And it's the national park, which closes at 5, which is not convenient. Right now it's 9 p.m. local time in Israel. And so there is absolutely no other way for me to take you to this place, but I want to take you because we're going to see one of the most ancient of the Jewish cemeteries, definitely one of the biggest of the Jewish cemeteries, with many mysteries, many questions that still haven't been provided any answer. There are many hypotheses. Queen Ariel, I'm learning Hebrew. אני מדברת עברית קצת. אני אוהבת עברית, אבל זה קצת קשה. Okay, so I've just said that I'm studying Hebrew and I like it, but it's not easy. Anyway, so this is basically it. My name is Anna, and I want to also tell a few more things. I want to help connect the dots to the new voyagers. And I'm not a licensed tour guide to Israel yet. I'm a licensed tour guide to St. Petersburg, Russia. But because of the war, I relocated. I made Aliyah together with my family. My husband is Jewish. I am not Jewish. But I am a linguist. I'm an anthropologist. I'm a tour guide. And I treat this tour with all respect to the dead, whose graves we're going to see. And I'm also aware that Halloween is not celebrated in Israel. It is not a part of a Jewish culture. But it doesn't mean that there are no scary stories to share. I just had a tour in Ashkelon National Park, and those even haven't been fiction stories. Those were facts from history, and they were astoundingly horrible. So that's why I do believe that we don't really need a Halloween, but there is this vibe, and I like sharing it with you. Of course, I heard of Purim, but Purim is in a few months. Yes. Of course I have. So that's the reason why there are no Halloween costumes in Israel. All the Halloween costumes come in spring when the Purim takes place, and you have to stock up on Halloween costumes in spring, which I haven't been able to do. So next time I learn I'll know what to do on Purim. Anyway, so this is it. Without further ado, I really need to find Oskar, the furry bear from Amsterdam. And I don't know where he is. Can you help me find him? Maybe somewhere in the library. Maybe, who knows, right? Okay, maybe. I'll be switching the camera. Oh, you see what's happening? Oh, wow. So it looks like blood. I didn't mean for it to happen, but it looks like blood. Oh my goodness, what's going on with my pumpkin? Peekaboo, Oskar, indeed. I am very sorry. Oh wow, what's happening? There's a bat? One more bat? Oh wow, and that's a map. Okay, so that's definitely Oskar because I didn't turn on my computer. What happened? Who turned on my laptop? Okay, maybe. Okay, let's go look for Oskar. I really don't know where he is. Okay. Where is he? Where is Oskar? Oh, another bat. So definitely I haven't cleaned up in my in my library. I definitely need to just where is it? Oh no, not this time, Oskar. What are you doing there, Oskar? Not this time. Look what happened. How did you get in there? What? You've been trying to find a book? Don't you have enough of kids' books from my son? He has like 100 of them. Not really? You wanted a scary book? Which one? The black book? Oh, Oskar, you're giving me a hard time indeed. Okay, hold on a moment. I really need to get Oskar out of there. I also need to make sure this web is not gonna be burned. Okay, give me a second. What's happening? Oh, Oskar, you're giving me a hard time indeed. Okay, well, you enjoy this bleeding pumpkin. Okay, Oskar, that's really, you did it last time. Don't you learn your mistakes? Oh, Oskar, you're all in this. Oh, yikes. Oskar, now. Oh. Oskar, what is that? You got a book? So we have an issue here. Oskar did find a book. Okay, that's the book. Okay, the black book. Where is this? That's the book. And that's Oskar in his best costume for Halloween. So he found the book, the black book, indeed. And he wants us to read it. For some reason, he also opened a map on my laptop. So that's gonna be fun, right? Are you ready, Oskar? He is. Make sure you take some postcards because Oskar and I would want to see it further on. Hi, Ruth. Hello, good to see you. You're ready. Okay, so then I'm gonna need to, just a minute to set things up and make sure Oskar is not gonna wear his amazing Amsterdam pants. So he's wearing pants. He's not going commando anymore, right? Not this time. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so let me do the following. Okay, Oskar, you're gonna do fine, okay? You're gonna do fine. Okay, now I also need to put this here, or maybe here. You have to fly away. Fly away. That's it. That's enough. Okay, so just a few more things. I hope you see everything. Yes. Okay. Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. So today we're going to Bet Shearim National Park. You see the map, and this is how Oskar's gonna transgress us all the way to the footsteps of Mount Carmel in the north of Israel. So 2 hours drive one way from Ashkelon. All of a sudden. Okay, so Ariel and Lise, please be lambs, okay? So we are starting a tour. It's a one-off. It's not going to be repeated, okay? And it's a Halloween. So, and the very first thing to mention, so we're going to see Bet Shearim. Bet Shearim is translated as the city, a house of gates. And it is tightly connected. So it's not just a cemetery. It was much more than that. It was the headquarters of Sanhedrin. And what you see here, you see it looks like a court. And indeed, you see it was sort of a court. It was a body of a judicial power. Okay, give me a second. I think it was too quick. I want you to see this. Okay, not like this. Okay. And the story of Sanhedrin is important because basically Sanhedrin was where the capital was, where the center of the Jewish judicial power was, and where the administration was. And there is a thing that Sanhedrin should have been at that point in Jerusalem, but that didn't happen due to Bar Kokhba revolt that took place in 130s Common Era. So it was the final Jewish revolt against the Romans, and this is Bar Kokhba himself. So he was a warrior, and it was devastating because in the end, even though it seemed that the Jews had won over the Romans, shortly after the Romans returned and pushed everybody away. So they killed thousands of Jews, and many had to flee. And eventually, Sanhedrin and the Jews that were exiled found themselves in Bet Shearim. Many mysteries, we're going to talk about it. What we see now here, oh my goodness, this web is everywhere. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh no. Oh no. No, not now. No. Please. No. Go. Oh, yucky. Okay. So sorry, there's just a spider. I don't know where he came from. I did clean up the place. So the Sanhedrin, okay. Jokes aside, what we see is the 3D map of what Sanhedrin was like. So we are again at the footsteps of the Mount Carmel. Over here you see the houses. So this is where people lived. So those exiled Jews, and here this is something interesting and unusual. Those are graves hewed in the rocks in the cave. So this is the living quarters. And this is all about the graves. More than 30 catacombs with sarcophagi like this. This is just a model that what we are going to see with different ornaments. We're going to see a lot of photos. We're going inside the caves. One of the advantages not to celebrate Halloween. There are enough of scary things without Halloween. And just like I said, those who have just joined, Halloween is not a part of a Jewish culture, and I treat it with respect. But I like Halloween vibes, and I thought that, well, just sharing with you real stories and real mysteries would be fine and just timely. So I hope that you understand, and I hope you, well, no spiderweb decorations. No. And no cuts from Halloween pumpkins. Oh, my pumpkin is, oh no, you better not see it. And the doors, the numerous doors, and this is the miniature of numerous doors. So doors, the gates, Bet Shearim, the house of gates, maybe it refers to the gates, to the caves. Those are different kinds of decorations that archaeologists would find. Oh, that's a long story, but I will share different kinds of decorations on the sarcophagi. Again, 30 catacombs, so really hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of coffins. Numerous decorations from many people, both from the Holy Land, for those who managed to stay on the Holy Land, and Jews from the diaspora, because of course Jews would be scattered all over the world, and many would want to be buried in Bet Shearim. Why? I will explain a little bit later. So let's imagine that we are here in Bet Shearim. That was lovely to hear the music, and I'm not switching off the sound, and I did want to provide a live commenting. So this is a stone door, but look at it. Okay, I'll be pausing for a while. Look at this. It looks like a wooden door and a metal door, but it's all stone, and it was put on the hinges, and it was given a metal doorknob or like a hook or whatever it is, a handle. Can you imagine? So there was something about the doors. They did have something for the doors. So maybe this is where the name comes from. We are not sure. Hello, heaven. Hello, dear. Hello, everyone. It looks like a bronze door indeed. And there are dozens of them, trust me. And now we are going inside the cave to see the sarcophagi. And now I have to pause. Well, I hope that you'll be, make yourself at home, okay? Make yourself at the cave. Imagine that we are walking together. Yes, Oscar, I know, you're beyond excited and you're beyond scared. I understand. It's gonna be all right. So, as we walk, I want to mention, I'll be telling you the history of the things, about how the place emerged, and I'll be providing some hypothesis and the explanation. It's not necessarily going to be in the chronological order for a number of reasons. Feel free to ask questions. I'll be able to stop, to pause and answer, okay? So as if we are there. This is definite. This place is a must, and it feels absolutely mesmerizing. It is a low ceiling. It is a cave. It is a cave. So all these sarcophagi, the entire place, the entire settlement appeared here after the Bar Kokhba revolt. So the Sanhedrin and the sages, right? So the wise men, they would be migrating, and after dozens of years, they ended up here at the footsteps of the Mount Carmel. Right now, we are not far from the Haifa, but well, of course, back in the days, there was nothing here, so we do not know why exactly that place was chosen, but it became a settlement, and a very important person, Rav Yehuda Hanassi, the one who would publish the book called Mishnah. This is the book of oral laws. It's like oral Torah that it was passed from one generation to the other, but those were unwritten laws. So Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi published it. Well, he wrote it down. He put it to writing, and he died further on after 17 years. After more than 17 years, he died, and he wished to be buried here in the place where he lived for a while. We will talk more about Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi a little bit later, and after that, when he died, in his will, he wanted to be buried in Bet Shearim, the place where he had spent several years. Then he would move to Tzipori, but this is another place. So most of the graves are not really signed. We don't know the people who is buried like everywhere. There is no need to ask me who's buried here, who's buried there, who's buried there. There is not much known, but we know about these people. Only the rich and respected could be buried in Bet Shearim. It was extremely expensive. So there would be rabbis, there would be heads of the communities, again, both from Israel, from the modern day Israel, territory that's now modern day Israel, or from the diaspora. We don't know why these daughters died. We don't know. So it was one daughter. So, and then some years later, there was one more girl buried. The bones were taken out and placed in a jar. So you will see also the niches for the jars. It was expensive. We don't know why she died as a virgin. We don't know. Well, and the other girl died at the age of 9 or something. Yeah, so we don't know. Well, let's go. So we talk as we go. So this is the first cave out of 30. So you will see that, right? So very few of the graves are signed. And have a look. There are holes everywhere, here and there and here and there. They were not meant to be here. This place was looted in the 9th century. Maybe to indicate that she had no descendants. Maybe Ruth. Maybe. This also one of the mysteries. We don't know. She was no mother, yes, and the other girl, she was just little. They were looted, and these were the holes so that the looters had made. And how do we know that the whole place was looted in the 9th century? This is when the first Muslim period in the history of Israel was in full swing, because of the remnants of the terracotta lamps that were found all over the place in the 20th century. Yeah, I like the explanation too. Thank you, Ruth. Really, really helpful. So the analysis was carried out, and this is how archaeologists realized that the terracotta lamps are not as of those days. So we do not know why the community stayed here. We don't know that. Sometimes the video will be a bit blurry, but it's just temporary because it's illuminated, but you see it's not really that light. But I think that my telephone did a great job. It's just an iPhone. We do not know how. So that's that's me talking to my son. That's my husband. So you wouldn't have been able I would have been able to run the tour without them. So that's definitely a family project. I'm in it. And we do not know to whom this idea came to start hewing in the limestone the niches for graves. It's not typical for the Jews to be buried this way. Sarcophagi, this is a Roman tradition. Yes, the Romans had come, and for a couple centuries they had been on the territory of the Holy Land. So that was probably some sort of just picking up some of the traditions, and this was the most expensive kind of an entombment, and it was extremely expensive. But people after Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi died and was buried here, they were coming from all over the place. Where did they come from? From Syria, from Lebanon, from Palmyra. This is why you can see different kinds of inscriptions in different languages. Not too many. There is no really any symbols. Well, at least it is not indicated that there are like big symbols, big meaning behind the decorations. But I want to show you in the chat. I will show you very few things that I think you might find interesting, different kinds of inscriptions and different kinds of decorations. I just shared 4 images with you. They're not too numerous. And you have to understand that right now we know of 30 catacombs, but we know for a fact that there are a lot more than that. These are just beautiful animals. They look like bulls. I guess those are bulls, right? Or wolves. Queen Ariel, I am grateful for where I am and how the situation evolves. I am grateful. I'm not happy because I cannot be happy. There is the war going on and my country is an aggressor. I am not happy, but I'm grateful, and I appreciate whatever I've been given. Yes, if I can put it this way. No, that's fine. Everybody knows my position. I've been running tours and here since I came, and everybody knows the trip that I had to make. Let's look inside the cave. So it is not typical also for the Jews to put something in the graves. This is not part of the tradition. The burial is a plain ceremony. using stone sarcophagi, that was something quite unusual. And again, there was something to loot, indeed. So, well, there was a lot. It was really, really badly robbed. And we're just in one grave. There are more than hundreds of sarcophagi and the burial niches. So you see, there is also a niche in the wall of the cave, in the vault of the cave. There are small niches for the jars. There are niches where the body would be placed. There were different kinds of sarcophagi made from clay, made from stone. Very few. We will show it. I will show it later. Are left from the in the clay. Thank you, Tony, and thank you everyone for the tipping. So, Karen, the caves are natural. The caves are natural. So the sarcophagi are handmade. Yes. Yes, of course you put the prayer books, but this is not a they're not jewels. They are even more important than jewels. They are more valuable, but they don't have a real value, right? But back in the days, those were jewels. They were some really valuable belongings. Yes. So when as for the question too, were there several people buried? We don't know that. So what we know is that it could be like this. So one family member is buried, and it's just very expensive. When somebody else dies, it is very expensive to buy another coffin and bury again. So that coffin would be opened. The bones of the one who had been buried before that would be extracted, placed in a smaller jar, put in a smaller jar and placed in the small niches like that. So it's Ruth, if this is addressed to me, oh no, it's to Ariel. Okay, I'm not able to read it that quickly. Thank you so much. Yes, exactly, Robert. So there are not even coffin. It is the bodies are wrapped in the cloth, and no, so it is unusual. It is unusual, but it did happen. The sarcophagi. I did some reading, so it did happen during the times of the Romans, of the Roman Empire. It did happen. The sarcophagi were used because there were also Jews who lived. Sorry if you have mentioned what the age of the caves. I will repeat again. Don't worry. So, but because during the times of the reign of the Romans on the Holy Land, it's like from 3 to 4 centuries. Well, of course, they were sarcophagi, and yes, some Jews would be buried in sarcophagi. Yes, so this place emerged in the 2nd century Common Era, and when the Roman Empire split into the Western and Eastern one, and the Eastern one, which was on the territory of the Holy Land, it became Byzantine. So it became a Christian world, and with the reign of the Byzantine, the place would very quickly be forgotten. So first of all, the quality of the construction, because up the hill there was the residential area, and this is just the burial site. So the houses would deteriorate, the houses would be destroyed, and then the place would be forgotten. It would be very soon covered in in the grass and trees, and you wouldn't be able to see anything. So the place was basically hidden, buried under the layers of the green. And now I'm trying to enter one of the rooms. So we're just in one cave. Don't worry, we're not going to see each and every cave. Sally, a Jewish lady, told me when the new Torah is made, the old one is buried with the body of an important person from a synagogue, and when they pass. I know that the prayer book is buried together with the person. I know that. That's what I was told. No, there are no bones. All the bones were removed. This is one of my favorite sarcophagi for sure. Again, you don't need to look for you don't need to dig really deep to find the meaning behind those decorations, but the more ornate, the more decorated the sarcophagi was, so definitely the most expensive the grave was, and the richest was the deceased. Yes, and the carvings, they survived. And to me, maybe it's even more valuable than what could have been inside the sarcophagi. Well, of course, there must have been something really precious, but it is what it is. Just like I told you, not every sarcophagi has the name of the deceased, for sure. Oh, you're exchanging Google Translate. I cannot read that quickly. Okay, so I hope it's not to me. So I want you to see how the place looks. I want you to see the size of the sarcophagus. So this is me, absolutely bedazzled, absolutely fascinated by the place. It smells amazing. It is a special place. It makes it really, I don't know, it's like the goosebumps. It gives you goosebumps for sure. Oh, that's for you, Ruth. Okay. Well, it's great that you're exchanging some messages. The National Parks Authority and Israeli Antiquities Authority, well, it took dozens of years to make sure there is electricity, the place is accessible as much as possible. That's okay. I don't really put much attention to what's going on. I just want to make sure I answer as many questions as possible. It just was one room. So yeah, I wanted you to see the actual size. And I tried to make sure that as less people are in the picture as possible. So that's why I tried to. It took me, only in that cave, I spent more than 1 hour. And there were 29 left. But of course, not all of them are open to public. Not all of them are really, because, well, they are not, there is no, excavations haven't taken place yet. Then some of the caves are just too dangerous to go in. So you see how badly damaged it was by the looters. Ariel, I'm not there now. I told you the tour is pre-recorded because it's 2 hours drive one way, because there is no connectivity where, because we are in the caves. This is exactly what's been mentioned in the tour description. Yes, this is the only way for me to take you there. Yes. As holy texts are, okay, let's see what Shoshana is sending. So not allowed to be thrown away or burned. They are buried in the coffins. Yes, of course they're not allowed. So one of the precious things is the giant menorah that was discovered. It's one of very few decorations. There were also found it was also carved from stone. It was hewed from stone. A lulav, which is a palm branch of a palm tree. There were also found some decorations of shofars, a lot of inscriptions in different languages, just like I told you. And as you see, there is a continuation there, but we cannot go. So we don't know how far that cave goes. We don't know when it finishes, and we don't know. There might be some more sarcophagi, but we just don't have way of knowing yet. We just know for sure that there is a lot more, and maybe someday we will find out. Maybe. So I know just that we cannot go, but there is a lot more. You see, I try to come as close as possible, and you see there is a lot more. Okay, so as I told you, with the Byzantine, so in the 4th century, the place would gradually fall in neglect, and people will leave, and the place would be forgotten. And then in this, thank you, Annie. Thank you so much for the tipping. So in the 7th century, the first Muslim period in the history of Israel started. And in these lands, this settlement emerged, the Muslim settlement emerged. so at some point in around 9th century, well, this is a great decoration, very common for the Roman period, very common for Romans. And we know that the Romans were trendsetters in, if it's okay to say so, that's my favorite. That's they say it's Nike, that's the goddess of victory. That's what they say. I shouldn't. I can't say really. I recognize her straight away. Yeah. So, but yeah, this is it. Um. No. Okay. So Orthodox practice in a cemetery, yes, but in a. Okay. Okay. So. I'm sorry. I don't know what exactly you're talking about. But thank you so much for all the comments, Ruth, Shoshana. So that's totally fine. No, Ruth, thank you so much. Again, I'm not a specialist in the burial practices in Israel. I only know that this is not typical, and these are not all the stories and the surprising things we're going to see. But can you imagine? It is all man-made. You see the walls, so they were man-made, of course, to make sure that there is enough suspension. And sorry, what is so there is so it's not gonna fall, right? And you see, this is a huge hole. And right now, the archaeologists, they try to secure it. And look at that. So a giant menorah was found in what we know now as a kind of a hole, like kind of for burial ceremonies. And this is how huge it is. It's 2 meters high. It's almost 2 meters. I know I'm short. I'm only 1 meter 63 centimeters. So I'm shorty. But that menorah was gigantic, absolutely gigantic. Okay, so it's time for me to leave one cave, but I wanted to make sure you see as much as possible. And I wanted to, that menorah is beautiful, and I wanted to make sure you see also that window. So the doors would close, and those windows would be used by the workers of the cemetery to exit, to leave the premises of the cemetery. So the doors would only open for the burial ceremonies. And when everything is done, the doors are closed, and then only the workers of the cemetery. That's what we think. That's how it is. It is mentioned in the descriptions. That's what the archaeologists think. This is what the windows would be used for. Of course, the bodies didn't need any windows. Absolutely not. I wanted to see one more sarcophagi. I think it's probably the second best after the ones with the Nikes. And I don't know really. What's your favorite? I don't know. I don't know. It's either the Nikes or the Wolves, and this would be my number 3. I don't really know. I don't really know what to think. So these would be also used as the small niches. Well, this is the modern letter. Everything is stunning. Indeed, everything is stunning. So very soon we will leave the cave. And if let's say if you're planning your visit to Israel, please let me know. I know that some of you, maybe Dolly, has been to Bet Shearim a couple of times. I think it's Dolly, but I'm not sure, dear. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. It is an unexpected place for sure. But if you're planning to visit Israel, well, this place opens at 8, and well, you cannot enter after 4, and by 5 you should leave the premises. There are no elevators, so if you're using a wheelchair or a walker, probably it's better skip the place and just ask me to run the tour again if you want to see it again. Yes, of course, Robert, indeed. So this is just one of the mysteries, and wait, because there are more mysteries to share very soon. Oh, just a bird. Well, this looks even a bit of an Egyptian to me, and it's also not surprised because it's not a surprise because the Romans, they would Yes, Robert, exactly, Ronnie. Because the Romans would just pick different traditions from different cultures, and we know that the depictions of the goddess Tish, they came from Egypt. So it was the Egyptian goddess, and then it would be transferred to the Roman mythology, to the Roman way of living. So I'm leaving the first cave, the biggest one. It was very hot, and it was so cool to get inside. So the cave of Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi, that very rabbi who is referred to as the rabbi. That's what I heard a couple times when I asked the locals. I came to my teacher in Ulpan. I asked her, "Do you know Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi?" Of course, this is not the portrait made in the lifetime, but this is one that is used. And she looked at me as if like I asked her, "Do you know who?" I don't really know. Do you know who Abraham is? Do you know who Moses is? That's something like that. I don't mean to say that Rabbi Hanassi was just that important, but he is an incredibly important character. And we're going to see his grave. But don't expect it to be the giant mausoleum only for him and his wife. No, it's just a cave. And when archaeologists started digging, they had no idea that they would find the cave and the grave of Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi. They did not know what they... I will tell you later how the place was found, because I need to take it to a different place to be able to explain. But when archaeologists started their excavations, they didn't know what they would find, and they found 3 nameplates. And they found the name Hanina. They found what most probably would also the names, and they realized that those are the names of the descendants of Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi, 2 of his sons, and also one disciple. He was as like his student. And then they found very close to that place, they found a plain grave. It was not a sarcophagus. No, it is just it's like double bed, double grave. This is it. This is the cheapest. Sorry if my gimbal kind of like trembled in awe, because this is what archaeologists consider to be the grave of Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi and his wife. And archaeologists they just got the dots connected, and they realized that, well, if this is the grave of Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi, and then the Hanina is the name of his youngest son, and probably those 2 names, it took them some time to understand it, and then they just got the dots connected. So yes, indeed, that was Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi. So that meant that the place they discovered was the mysterious, the famous and mysterious place called Bet Shearim, the House of Gates. So one version is that the place is called so because of the number of doors that you see. This is only for you that I'm doing. I nearly tripped there, so I want you to see that I had to go downstairs, like all the way downstairs, because I wanted to take you there. I've never been to a place like that, and this doesn't look as nice and comfy and comfortable to be in. There is no illumination, and I was alone there. It was scary. So this is how much I appreciate you. This is how much I wanted you to get inside the House of Gates. So maybe this is this is the reason why the place is called so. There is another reason. Maybe the place is named so because of some very important gates, because maybe those are the doors to some very important place. And there are several hypotheses that I will be sharing with you. But, well, another door. Look at that. It's off the hinges, but it's there. It's all stone, but it looks like the metal door. Absolutely. By the way, speaking of the name, so maybe it's not exactly about the doors. There is one more translation in Hebrew. There is the word seorah. I think this is the way to pronounce it. It's for barley, and there are barley fields around the area. So this could also be the reason for the naming. And now I go back because I left one very special place for the dessert. And as I go past the grave of Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi, and that very scary grave, or to be there alone, it wasn't exactly comfortable. It didn't really feel comfortable. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you, everyone, for the tipping. Thank you for the comments and questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And I could just pause the video. And you see right on top of that grave, you see this. So you see the stairs, and then up here, there was some seats. And there are kind of row of seats, and there's one person sitting. Since we know that the place was where Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi had been buried, so we know that he had many disciples. He was a respected man in his lifetime. Even before he would finish, he would compile the book of unwritten laws, of the oral laws, but we believe, the archaeologists believe, that this was the place where his students would be studying. This is where he also would be commemorated. He spent several years in Bet Shearim. Only after that he left to Tzipori to finish the book, to finish the Mishnah. So this is just how archaeologists got the dots connected. And now I'm taking you to probably the most mysterious place. Even now it gives me goosebumps. I feel those creeps, on my back. And you too? Really? Really, Oscar? And how about you? No, he's trembling. I want you to see this. When I did my initial reading and I needed to find out if the place is really that exciting, I kind of realized that it would take me the whole day to go there, and I also had to pay to my son because he hates long drives. So he's like, that was a long trip. It wasn't easy, but once I learned that in the huge cave, what originally was used as a huge cistern for the fresh water was found an absolutely flat and absolutely perfect in shape rectangular slab of something that for several dozen years archaeologists couldn't understand what this thing was. I'm talking about this slab of something. And then later on they would find out what it is, and then just all the hypotheses, and that there's still so many questions that we are not able to find answers to. I think I nearly had a heart attack. I rushed to my husband and I told him we need to go to Bet Shearim, and he said yes. I didn't tell him how far we would have to go, but I just told him we have to go. So you see, so that was something. So it turned out that this perfect, smooth slab of something was a 9 tons weight glass. That's a piece of glass. It doesn't look like a glass, right? It doesn't look like a glass. But you have to understand that this is the biggest piece of glass found in many, 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 many centuries. Right now, the bigger and thicker lenses are used in modern day observatories. The lenses for the telescopes, for the huge telescopes, and NASA and all the laboratories. Well, of course, this only happened thanks to the Coring Museum of Glass. It was just the idea of one of the specialists to come and to run the tests. And I want you to see, you're going to see the jars, but this is quite typical. This is what had been found in the excavations, but this is okay. This is, by the way, the clay coffins. They would be used further on, closer to the Byzantine time, and they would be cheaper and so this kind of more affordable. And you also see this. This is glass. So archaeologists would find glass, and they realized glass comes from sand. And indeed, in several years ago, archaeologists found the world's oldest piece of glass in Israel, and they also managed to prove that the oldest glass factory was also in Israel. And here in Bet Shearim, there was also glass-making factory. However, so as I walk you around, there were some contradictions. Okay, so the place, which is this is the cave of a museum, and it used to be a cistern for water, but then the archaeologists, they started thinking, and they inclined to think these are the clay coffins. And yes, I forgot to mention that they were even mausoleums. There was a cave for mausoleums, so the most expensive of the most expensive caves that you could have ever seen at that period of time on the Holy Land. So only the Romans would build themselves underground. Houses, like the villas, like the one found in Ashkelon, for example, and all over Israel. But I want to show you. Okay, so the thing is, so this place, this former cistern, was big enough for a small glass factory to produce, for example, the small bottles like that for perfume, for oil. Yes, that was enough. But to make the perfectly flat, it was the level was put to it was perfectly flat. The angles are perfect. The surface is perfect. They needed about around 10 kilograms of raw materials, and they would need twice as much of the fuel to be able to keep the needed temperature from 5 to 10 days. So this was not enough. The place was not enough. The technologies were not enough, and the people working in the glass workshop, they would just burn there. They would boil. They would just. That's it. There would be nothing left for these people. So now archaeologists are inclined to think that this glass was not made there. But where was it made? They don't know. There is a theory that, and I have to show you. Let me see if I find it. Okay, I have it on my other phone. I want to provide. It's a stretch, of course, and I don't mean to say that this is that it is true. I don't mean to say that, of course, but I think there is something to it. At least it's a good food for thought. So in Kings 1:6-4, so in the book of Kings, it is said, "And for the house he made windows of narrow lights." This is about the Solomon when he built his temple, right? So when he built the temple, and there are questions like what kind of lights. And I'm pretty sure that Dolly, Shoshana, or Ruth, you have some explanations, you have some interpretations, and there is an interpretation later on in the description that they were used epithets like transparent and closed, like sealed, better say, not closed, but sealed and transparent. So maybe there were cuttings, right, in the temple. There were like cuttings in the wall to let the light in, to let the air in, but it doesn't really go inside with that translation. But of course, there are several translations. Well, but yes, so we yeah, it's kind of hypothetical that when the Bar Kokhba revolt happened, so there was relatively short amount of time when it felt as if Jews won. That is why and this is when the Jews, they had some time for self-identification, right? So to gain some, some kind of a self-esteem. I mean, in the scale of the nation, of the peoples, because of the oppression from the Romans for a couple centuries before that, and there were like many other hardships. And okay, let's just turn the video on. Maybe, so when the Romans returned, they would leave in a hurry and they would take something precious with them. And maybe they took something, so after the temple was destroyed, they might have had something left from it. And maybe they took something with them. We don't think that, of course, they had made this and then they would carry it all the way with them, that kind of glass. But what if they used this glass? We have no idea how it had been made, but maybe they used this glass, and thanks again to the Coring Museum of Glass to have, well, come up with this idea to come and run the test, and then we know that this is the glass. So maybe these people, these Jews, they took something that had been left from the first temple. Maybe, we don't know. And we need to leave now. We have just about 5 more minutes of footage, and let's see. So, Oskar, are you okay? I hope so. Hey. Okay. So it doesn't want to. How do I? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So just a few more caves. We're not going inside. Don't you worry. Thank you, Mona. Thank you, Darcy. Thank you, everybody, for the tipping. So who knows? Maybe indeed there was something that those Jews took with them from the first temple, and maybe in that cave they would be guarding that very, very valuable exhibit. We don't know, but it does give me goosebumps to think so. What is skipping? Lila, what is exactly skipping? So this is the pre-recorded video, and I just want to make sure you see everything. So now we are on the top of the hill. Remember when the tour started, I showed you the map. So the caves were like on the slope and on the top of the hill or small mount, because we are very close to the Mount Carmel. Well, where are the footsteps? So on the top there, it will take you have to go on foot. The cars cannot go there. So there is a basilica found, and archaeologists, after having found the graves of Rav Yehuda Hanassi, they think that maybe this was the Sanhedrin, because he was the sage. He was there was needed a court, and of course Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi was there, and we know that the Sanhedrin had a certain amount of people, so like 120, and the basilica was exactly of that place to fit exactly that number of people. So they believe that the Sanhedrin resided there, and next to Sanhedrin, let's put it like as some sort of a court. It's like a judicial and administrative body. Let's put it this way. So they also found a synagogue. So they believe that there was a custom to pray in the Sanhedrin before Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi, but he didn't want to pray there in the Sanhedrin. He wanted to go to the synagogue to pray. So why do we have this person here? So Alexander Zaid. You would be surprised to know that Alexander Zaid was born in Siberia. And he was in the second Aliyah. It was, of course, it was long before the State of Israel would be established. He came in 1900s. In around 1920s he came. This is when. So these are the years of the second Aliyah. Queen, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for the question. Thank you for the interesting conversation. Thank you for the tipping. Thank you so much. Ronnie, memories. Oh, that's great. That's great. Yes, there is no signal in the cave. Yes. And I wouldn't have been able to run the tour at a good time so everybody could join. Yeah, that's the problem. So he came and he was assigned as a shomer. So shomer, okay, we just need to see there are some breathtaking views and also the monument to Alexander Zaid. So he was appointed as a shomer. He was the god of the place, the god of the settlement to protect it because there had been conflicts with the Muslims, of course, and he was the guard. He even was on good terms with the Arabs. He was on good terms. However, in 1938, while he was inspecting the area, he was murdered. But before that, so he had this habit. He would be making holes, would be digging holes, and like on the paths where he went. Maybe it was his idea to make sure he doesn't get lost. We don't know. So, but he would also take his horse with him. Sometimes he would go on foot. It depends, because even when he was not on duty, he would be walking and he would be guarding the place. We will also see the landscape. I wanted you to see this. I wanted you to see the landscape. It's beautiful. Ronnie, I understand. You've never been to Israel. Well, maybe you will have a chance to visit. Who knows, right, Ronnie? I wanted you to see landscape. And in one of the walks, so he was digging the holes, and so his shovel, I'm not sure what it was, bumped into something, and he started digging, and this is how he found the entrance to one of the catacombs. He called the archaeologists, he called his friend, and those friends called the archaeologists, and they came, and this is when the excavation that would last up until nowadays. Look at that, look at those fields, look at those, like, well, just beautiful. And just one more thing for you to see is that construction with the dome. So the dome structure, we will come closer. It's the tomb of Sheikh Abrak. So as I told you, in the first Muslim period, the area would be taken over by the Muslims, by the Fatimids, and this is where the Sheikh would be buried. And the cave is still here. Nobody's going to take it down. So nowadays, Muslim heritage is not destroyed. We have to admit it. And so archaeologists, it took them dozens of years to make the area, to make the place accessible. There are still many questions to be answered. And we might never even know where that huge slab of glass came from. So that might be a problem. But the place exists. And yes, we know for a fact the Jews were at some point buried like the Romans. And yes, we know that there were Jews that would become like Romans, and because that was, well, that was life. People had to survive under the whoever it was. So be it Romans, be it the Byzantines, be it Christians, be it the Byzantines, whoever. So, but yet we know that the Jewish identity had been formed. And those people who left from Jerusalem after the Bar Kokhba revolt, they left Jerusalem, well, having a very strong identity. And no matter what, that place used to be at some point this very, very small version of Jerusalem. Oh, Dolly, your late husband was from Kiryat Tivon. Yes, this is very, very close to Bet Shearim, indeed. Oh, so yes, you did visit. So now I also discovered the place a bit on my own, and I'm in love with the place. I want to come again. But there is so much more to visit that, well, so much more to learn. Luckily, my courses start on the 13th of November. I will keep you posted. So Oh my goodness. Oscar, are you all right? Are you all right? Are you okay? Look at him. Look at him. Oh no. Yeah, no, I know you're scared, but it's all right. It's all good, okay? It's good. So, dear Voyagers, thank you so much for joining this very special tour. I tried my hardest to make sure as if you're there with me, as if you're walking and touching and, you know, taking selfies with some of the coffins. I know how creepy it sounds, but yeah, I have taken some selfies. I did. So, and you would have probably, right? You would have probably done the same. I wanted you to share this. I wanted to share with you those stories. I really, I was thinking, okay, so maybe out of respect to Jewish culture, I just don't run any Halloween tours. But I was thinking, goodness, there are so many scary stories, and my goodness, so there's definitely so much to show, and I wanted to share it. And I was thinking, okay, so we have our amazing guide Itamar Ben David in Jerusalem, so I didn't want to go there, and I hope that he'll be running more tours very soon, but he is very busy with in-person tours. And the little boy, baby Tabor, he's big already. He's more than a year old now, I guess. Well, and this is the place I wanted to take you, an off-beaten spot, a UNESCO World Heritage site. On the one hand, it is one of the 9 UNESCO World Heritage sites that Israel can boast, and this is a huge number. On the other hand, it's quite far. And well, normally the program that the tourists come with is like so packed that, well, not everybody are taken to Bet Shearim. And I just wanted to make sure the more people, so as many as possible of you know about the place. That's basically it. I'll be happy to answer the questions. Before I do this, I wanted to give me a second. Okay, I guess we need to do something like that, and to zoom it out. Okay, so this is my. There is a problem, you know, in the place where I live, there are not too many pumpkins, and this is the only pumpkin I could find. So I know it's a ridiculous one, but I like it. I like the way the wax looks. Oh my goodness, it's spitting with blood. Yeah, it's like kind of a vampirish. Indeed. Okay, let me go over the chat. So the tour is over, and there are amazing tours that my colleagues are doing. So make sure you check them out. Tomorrow, I'm taking you to the Halloween market. Oscar can't wait to share with you what we've bought. We did buy something. Susan, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the questions. If I haven't answered some of the questions, please feel free to send them in again. The market, it will be exciting. There will be some creepy things, but it would be inspiring, and it would be creative and nice and heartwarming, because there will be people that so the creative people will be there, the artisans will be talking and showing what they have created. Can I show the cobweb? Of course, but to do that I need also to take the candle. Okay, so my cobweb, and just a couple of bats, of course. So yeah, so since the last tour, yeah, the place has been, I don't know, that's really a mess. At least a good use of my Amazon backdrop, right? So why is there razor wire around the building? Oh, this is just to protect from well, the place is old. So the grave dates back to at least 9th century, but maybe even earlier. So that's why it's dangerous, it's deteriorating, it hasn't been restored yet. So basically to protect people from it, and then to protect it from the people. Yes, so that's the reason. Which triangle did you miss? Sorry, Cindy, which triangle? It looks like your wavy books tool scanner. Yes. Okay, so this would be it. Thank you so much, dears, for joining. Thank you. Oh, Oscar, I wanted you to see a good old friend. So that spider, I hope you're okay with that. Okay, thank you so much, dears. I hope I've answered as many questions as possible. Okay, well, it's definitely something to check out. I highly recommend to visit the place, really. Well, Robert, that's great. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so happy and I'm so in awe that so many locals, people from Israel, and so many people with Jewish roots, so many Jewish people have joined us today. I mean, it's amazing. And it's not easy for me to talk about Judaism. I'm not Jewish. It's always tons of responsibility to make sure I don't fail, I don't screw, to make sure I don't confuse something. It's big responsibility, and that's exactly why I'll be running the course. I'll be joining the course that will take me more than a year of my life, because I want to feel more confident. But you help me feel like I'm back in my comfort zone. And for you, I'm hitting the books. For you, I've been sleep deprived for the week, more than a week, because there's there's really a lot to take in. And thank you so much. Thank you, dear Voyagers. Thank you, Oscar. Thank you, Stefan van der Meer, amazing Amsterdam and beyond guide, for sending Oscar to me again a year later. And I'm so sorry, Stefan. I'm so sorry, Catherine. Yeah, but yes, I should have been looking after Oscar more carefully, but he found himself again in that web. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And well, he's now another friend now. So a little spider, and so when the spider from south to water, okay, comes up the Oscar snout. Why not, right? Okay, this would be it. Thank you so much, dears, for joining. Thank you. And it's been a pleasure to be with you. It's been a great pleasure. Maybe it was the rectangle last. Maybe. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, everybody. It's been great. And it's time to have some rest. It's been a long day, 2 tours, and there's one more to go. Please make sure you check out my schedule. Oscar and I have already scheduled a marathon of 3 tours in Old Jaffa and a sunset tour as well. It's going to be amazing. We're also scheduling Ashko National Park 2 tours to share those, to squeeze 5,000 years of history into 2 tours. We're going to see the smashing things, like the oldest arched gateways ever found in the world. They are in Ashkelon. They want 1 more gates, but they are not like, you can go through them, but through these gates you can go through. That's kind of impressive. We'll be going through those gates. That's going to be special. We're going to see many things. We're going to see the sea. We're going to come close to the seashore. We're going to grab ourselves hundreds and hundreds of seashells. Well, it's going to be fun. Okay, it's going to be next weekend, and a few more tours scheduled, and then a lot more in Tel Aviv, some new tours. Thank you, dears, for joining, and it's time to go to bed. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.